The KRGS Doors Show, proudly brought to you by KRGS Doors. For all your shopfront roller shutters, roller grills, folding closures and bifold doors, visit www.krgsdoors.com.au. Welcome to the KRGS Doors podcast. I'm your host, Drew Blackman. The aim of our podcast is to talk to cool people with cool stories, whether it be our suppliers, customers, staff, other business owners, or people from different walks of life, and get to know them a bit better. If you're interested in coming on, drop us a line or email, or connect with us via Facebook, and we can have a chat to see what we can do. Today on episode 36 of the 2-year-old KRGS Doors podcast, I'm joined by KRGS Doors Managing Director Clayton Blackman, and we talk to Brad Griffiths from Man IT. We talk all things IT and small business, along with Brad's time in the Air Force. I will also let you in on our next episode's guest, but for now, please welcome to the podcast, Mr. Brad Griffiths.
If this doesn't turn you on, folks, you haven't got a switch.
Well, Brad, thank you for joining us on the podcast today. What is the Brad Griffiths story?
Yeah, I'm married, couple of girls.
Yep.
I've got a 18-month-old English staffy. He's beautiful, mate. Absolutely gorgeous.
I got two staffies.
Yeah, like
brother and sister.
Oh, nice. I'd love another one, but it's a small house, so yeah. Indoor dog, he sleeps in our bed.
They're lovable, aren't they?
Oh yeah, great with the kids. Like, really, really good with the kids.
You're two of the biggest lap dogs I've ever seen.
Yeah, takes 6 years anyway.
Yeah. Haley and I bought a house together in Blacktown about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Slowly doing it up. It's one of those fibro post-war cladded sort of houses, we try to get one project done each year, and I think by the time we actually finish, it'll be time to start again.
There's always something to do at home, mate, isn't there? There's always some sort of project happening.
Yeah.
With those renovations, have you considered going on the block?
No. They're going to be kicked off.
We were the same. We had a kitchen and a bathroom done at the same time this year, just before sort of March or May this year, and my wife said to me, we're never going on the block. We're never going on the block. So, yes. How old are the kids?
11 and 8.
Okay,
Lovely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very nice. So you're in the IT industry. How did you start in the IT industry?
I was always keen on computers as a kid. My folks bought an old an Amiga 500, if anyone remembers that. They're made for business, and a lot of people did a lot of audio and visual sort of stuff, and video editing. I think it was the machine for choice at the time for that sort of stuff. For me, it was just a games machine.
Yeah.
You had 256 colours that had all the games. I had a box of...
It was all the bells and whistles back in the day, mate.
Oh, yeah. A couple of joysticks, all that sort of stuff. So I went from that to, years went on, and the folks ended up handing me down a computer. So that was the first one that I got in my room. It was an old 486. And I just, messed with it and played with it. And I was, I guess... end of primary school, I'd taught myself how to program in BASIC.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. And I guess I just sort of went from there. After leaving high school, I went to TAFE for, on and off, did a few courses with that. Sort of preferred to go and work. I was doing pizza driving and working at the reject shop and things like that at the time, just for a bit of cash. The biggest jump would have been when I joined the Air Force.
Yeah.
So I joined the Air Force as a communications electronics technician. So taught component level repair, and the expectation was that we would be fixing radars, radio systems, servicing antenna arrays, amplifiers and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like an apprenticeship type setup. So you've got all these competencies that you need to meet, and you go to a task and they sign you off in it and that sort of stuff. So I was making my way through the competency book, getting sort of near the end of it, and the squadron monitor at the time, he's turned around and said, "Griffo, I hear you're keen on computers. and I was offered a spot in a deployable IT section.
Right.
So went and did that, and then they just hammered with courses, router courses, Microsoft courses. Just
Learn.
Yeah.
Where was this based at, mate? In the Air Force?
Well, I was at Richmond at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were living on base?
No. So by the time I'd moved to Sydney, posted Richmond.
Yeah.
I was with girlfriend at the time, wife now.
Yep.
And we moved in together into a unit in Penrith.
Yep.
And then from there into a defence housing place in Penrith.
So when you got into the Air Force, mate, how old were you then?
21.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd bummed around for a couple of years.
Pretty exciting, mate.
Oh yeah. It's definitely different.
Yeah.
And a bloke that age earning that sort of cash, it was it was excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is good.
Did you get deployed overseas at all during that time?
I did. Yeah. First, I did an exercise overseas and a few operational deployments. So I think the first trip overseas was exercise Talon and Sabre in 2007, something like that. Got to jump on a USS Blue Ridge.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. It's a comm ship, flagship for the 7th Fleet, I believe. That was 14 years ago, so my memory's a little bit sort of vague. But yeah, it was a couple of weeks over there, and then they brought the ship over to Australia, and we jumped on again and went out to sea, and there was.
So you're working with the US Navy?
Exactly, yeah. There were a few US Marines as well on board. Pretty cool people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So how long were you in the Air Force for?
6.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what made you get out?
I spent more time away than what I did at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife by then and I we're trying to start a family.
Yeah.
And I'd done 2 trips over to the Middle East, and the first one was 7 months, the next one was a couple of months. So all that sort of adds up.
For sure.
And a bit of a realization that I didn't want to start having kids and then not being home, to see them and that. So.
Geez, mate, you would have noticed a bit of difference from Penrith to the Middle East.
Oh yeah.
That would have been an eye opener for a young bloke.
Oh yeah. Everything from weather, sandstorms.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I know it gets hot at Penrith, but fuck, over in the Middle East, that'd get hot over there, wouldn't it?
And fog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the places, so we were doing shift work, looking after, all the IT and that sort of stuff over there.
Yeah.
So we were doing shift work, and you'd jump outside 4 a.m. for a smoke or something, and you wouldn't be able to see like that far in front of your face. Yeah. So that kind of blew me away. Fog in the desert,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So it's a bit, mate. I guess being overseas that time away from your family and so forth, it takes its toll.
It did. Yeah.
You can only do it so many times.
Exactly right. Yeah. The unit that I was in at the time was the only comms unit for the Air Force, and deployable radios and things like that. And because of that, we were always sort of called on to go overseas and do things. So things have changed around a little bit these days. A lot of which happened after I actually left, but I believe it's a little bit more sort of spread out now.
Yeah, good.
Was the Air Force always something that you sort of had in mind? Like, I know you computers and that type of thing, but it's sort of, to me, it's not, okay, yeah, the computers are going to lead me into the Air Force. Was that always something you were looking forward to?
Not at all, no. When we were living out in Canberra, I had an old schoolmate that I'd known since I was about 5. We used to spend a week or so at each other's place every school holidays and things. But he ended up coming out to Canberra, and I remember walking down the street, and saying, when we get older, we'll become pilots and, things like that. So, I mean, I had an interest in planes in the Air Force and stuff, but, I also thought to myself, I'll be a programmer. I mean, kids sort of swap and change their mind all the time, but definitely always an interest in it. But yeah, I guess an IT guy at heart anyway.
That leads us to you now have your own business, Man IT. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I was working at Gibson Shopfitters for a while, and I had pretty much accomplished everything that I'd more or less been tasked to do. That there was a number of things that needed to be fixed up, both on budget type stuff. You know, we're bleeding a lot of money with telecommunications and contracts that were sort of left over for legacy type equipment like phone systems and that sort of stuff. So we got out of them, new contracts, lowered the expenditure each month, and the network itself had a lot of problems, a lot of gremlins. You know, you'd log on in the morning and it's just something else would be broken. In the first couple of months there, I was just running around like a headless chook, upstairs and downstairs. It was a big factory at the time.
It was a big factory, mate.
Yeah.
This is the one over at, is it Sifton? Is that the one?
Eunora.
Eunora, sorry. Is that the one at Eunora?
Yeah. So we were there. Somebody down the warehouse would say, the Wi-Fi isn't working. They had these scanner guns that they'd use and, talk to the Wi-Fi and then to one of the servers.
It was a massive factory, mate.
Huge. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we had Phil Saddleton on one of our podcasts earlier, and that was one of the things we commented on, like the size of that. It was massive.
I'd get my steps up every day.
Oh, no doubt you would, mate. No doubt you would.
Yeah. The phone used to have a little step counter anyway. So you whip it out at the end of the day. Oh yeah, that's 7,000. That's 8,000 steps. And considering you can do most of the IT stuff sitting at your desk.
Yeah.
I mean, for an IT guy to build up that's
steps. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Pretty impressive.
Fittest IT guy going around, he was.
Oh, at the time, yeah. Not now.
So you're doing. You're obviously doing. Gibson Shopfitters just moved premises to Silverwater. They've got a new factory. So you set up all their IT and so forth from currently?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
To the new site that they wanted to remove all the old hardware. So we got to start fresh. Which is great. We moved a lot of lot of old gear from Eunora to Granville.
Yeah.
And now it was finally time. Just that's it. No more. Most of their infrastructure was previously moved into the cloud anyway.
Yeah.
As far as servers and things like that go. So yeah.
They've done a good job with that new premises over there at Silverwater.
Yeah.
Good setup.
Yeah. Tidy little rack as well. If you got a look at that. Yeah.
So going back, you were doing the IT back in their old factory and running around and fixing everything?
Yeah, so that went on for a couple of months, and I was slowly, it took a long time, but in the background, late at night and things like that, I was rebuilding servers, changing, network configurations, sort of separating VLANs and things like that. And yeah, so it was starting to get to the stage where, things were starting to work and they were reliable. They didn't really need that IT guy on site. At a moment's notice, things were working. So, I had spoken to my boss at the time, the CFO, and they brought in the CEO at the time, and I had presented a contract to him to move from internal IT to an external managed service provider, which was myself. So outsourcing our IT to myself, to my own business, so that I could, pursue some other goals.
You must be one of the most important guys, or when you, for small businesses, like I know for us, we have dramas and so forth, computer headaches, and it's just an absolute shit fight. And you've got to ring the IT guy to get it sorted out and so forth. It's just so frustrating because you come in, like you said, come in of a morning to try and start up your computer and so forth, and you don't realise how they're so reliable on them. You know what I mean? With your emails and sending stuff and information, and if you're down on your computer and that, it just absolutely your business just comes to a stop.
We had a blackout here only about a week and a half ago,
and
we're sort of all sitting twiddling our thumbs, going, What are we going to do now? And
we had no phones, we had no computers, we had no nothing.
Yeah.
We're just working off the iPhones.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just, you just don't realise how much your hands are tied because you're relying on that technology. So as soon as someone comes along like you, like an IT guy, and just gets the ball rolling again. It's just so important.
It's not as simple as just turn it off and restart.
No.
Well, it's not nice to feel wanted, but people only call me when there's a problem. So
Yeah.
No news is good news for you.
That's right.
exactly right. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Brad, I'm just ringing you up just to tell you our system's working, mate. So good. Yeah.
That'd be nice for a change.
Yeah. You don't get that.
So after Gibson's, you decided to go out on your own, start Men IT. How many employees now do you have there?
There's five members of Men IT now. It started out with my father-in-law, Jerry, Haley, my wife, myself, and my mother-in-law. So real family business.
Yeah.
The backstory to that is that my father-in-law had previously sold his business, and he was really sort of looking for, I guess, the next thing. You know, what he was going to do. He's not ready to retire yet.
Yeah.
It also gave him a mechanism to bill his previous business through. You know, still doing consultancy sort of work. And that.
Yep.
So one night, I think we're having Chinese or something, a few beers, and he suggested, with my previous experience as a MSP after the Air Force, I was worked in MSP for a few years. He said, "Is that something that I'd be keen on?" And I thought, well, with my situation at Gibson's at the time, I thought, oh yeah, that could work.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So I've got, especially at the time, I no experience running a business, none at all. So I guess as a newcomer to to that as a job, it was great having Jerry there just to sort of lean on and because all the things that nobody really tells you about. You know, I registering the business to begin with, and all that sort of stuff. And Haley.
It's not something you do every day, mate, is it?
No, it isn't. No. And even now, 5 years on, I work, I guess, a lot inside the business. Answering the phones and going on site and fixing problems. Maybe not as much working on the business as what I maybe should do sometimes. So yeah,
it's that juggle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we just before Blacktown was locked down in the recent COVID lockdowns and that, we hired Jake. So we now have our first non-family member employee.
Good one.
Yeah.
I believe Jake, in my research that I did on you, he's a family friend's son or something like that. So he's not too far detached from the family, though, is he?
Yeah. I was looking after his both his mum and dad worked for a real estate business that I'd previously provided IT support for, and that was just after leaving the Air Force. We're talking nearly 10 years ago, I think. And, they remembered that, Brad was doing the whole Man IT thing. And,
Reach out.
Yeah, they reached out. And it actually started just after he had Jake had finished his studies. It was more just a work experience thing, try and, get a little bit of exposure, maybe something to write in his resume. I did, a little bit of time work experience. And, he'd left, found another job, and I think it was about 6 months after that, we're actually in a position where we could hire someone. So the first call was to Jake. He's got all the motivation, great customer service skills.
Good.
He's excellent on the phone. Yeah.
Excellent.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the podcast. We have a word from our sponsor. KRGS Stores Series 3 Aluminium Roller Shutter is the ideal solution for large retail openings. Spanning up to 12 metres wide by 4.5 metres high, the Series 3 shutter is perfect for the major retailers such as Coles, Woolworths and Aldi. The 100mm heavy-duty interlock slat can be solid, perforated or slotted to provide ventilation or vision if required. For more information, visit www.krgsstores.com.au or call 1800 897 822. Now back to the podcast.
How many customers do you look after?
Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I know there's just over 400 computers and servers in total.
Wow.
At the moment, yeah.
So starting from sort of zero or Gibson's as such, 5 years it's grown in 400.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow, that's huge. That's massive. That's good. What are some of the changes you've seen in the IT industry? And this is probably a never-ending question. You could probably go on for days, but some of the major ones.
Since working in Civvy Street, so I'm talking sort of post Air Force at the moment, the biggest thing that's really changed is ransomware, hacking gangs and things like that. It's pretty bad out there. Like it really is. So everyone in general, like I'm talking from at a personal level and at a business level, really need to look at their security posturing.
Yeah.
What is out there, what's accessible, from the web, of their own businesses, things like that. Phishing emails are just gone.
Oh yeah, haven't they?
mad.
What, mate?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really become a financially viable industry to be in now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're not on the ball and you're keeping an eye on what's coming in, like you can just you can put the cleaners through them.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's some of the real low tech ones are, as an example, gaining access to someone's email account.
Yeah.
And then falsifying emails from a potential supplier and things like that.
We've just had the same situation here.
Yeah,
So,
right.
exactly what you're talking about. I've seen it. I know of 2 different people that it's happened to now.
Yeah.
And the money's gone, and there's no chance of getting it back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's ordinary.
Yeah. I mean, quite often you won't find out until it's weeks or even months later.
Well, the customer's talking and saying, "Hey, we've paid for this," and they're saying, "Well, no, I haven't got the money."
Exactly right. Yeah.
And the original email, it's just like,
Yeah, well, there you go. So it's not even just the person that gets hacked. That's potentially the victim there. There's also other victims as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it on a couple of different occasions where they've hacked like that, and money's been sent to the wrong account and it's been tapped into. It's just it's terrible.
And you see it. It's not only a business; it's private people as well. You see a current affair of, hey, send me your details and I'll transfer this money or whatnot.
And older generation, they're not savvy and they're vulnerable.
Oh yeah.
And just cleans them up.
As an IT man, is that your number one tip to sort of suss that out first? The security.
Yep. So going in there, a new network, do a bit of an audit, try and find out exactly what the situation is with everything. Policies where people have to change their passwords every month or so. Multi-factor authentication. It's pretty much all becoming it's not a case of if you're going to get attacked, like a phishing email or something like that. It's going to be when.
Yeah.
And if they get just the right right information at the right time, maybe it's late at night. You're not thinking 100%.
Yeah.
You click on that and no, it's terrible.
Vulnerable.
And as Clayton said, especially now, they're so savvy that they're sending it, they're hacking into emails, and we'll get them here even as they'll send, looks like it's plans or there's attachments for a shop, and it's from people that we know, and then half an hour later you get another email, don't open that, we've been hacked type of thing.
Yeah.
That it's just, oh, hang on, I would have opened that because I thought it was drawings to quote on for a shop.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It looks authentic, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's from people that we deal with every day, so it's not as if it's
especially if they've got access to that email address, they've gone into your sent items, and they, go, okay, well, we know KRGS doors, this is a common contact, copy an email signature, and away they go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite scary, actually.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, and then ransomware is another big thing. So let's say that somebody's let them into their computer, they clicked a dodgy link on an email, run a program, things like that. These people, now have access to the local system, and from there, potentially spread through the network. They'll take a foothold inside the network, potentially even stay there for a period of time, however long they might think that your backups might last for. So let's say, example, 3 months. They might just sort of sit there low and, and then when they decide, now's the time, they'll run some scripts and programs, whatever, and encrypt all the data on the servers and things, and leave little messages like contact us via some encrypted messaging app and send us Bitcoin.
You might be able to help us with this one, mate, because I keep getting this email for this bloke that wants to send me millions of dollars from Namibia.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
How can I get my hands on the cash? That's just constantly comes through. With different countries, but I don't know why they keep picking me out. But they just want to send me millions of dollars. I just send the money, mate. I
I still think there'd be some sort of prince over there, and he's got all these millions of dollars going, I'm trying to give it away and no one wants it.
No one wants the cash.
No one believes me.
Yeah. They all think I'm bullshitting.
Yeah, he's just trying to be generous. What's the biggest challenges you face both in the IT industry and as a business owner?
Sleep's always a challenge. I guess as a business owner, it's the responsibility.
Yeah.
Like you can't just say, throw your hands up to somebody else's job. Everything stops to you. In the IT industry, I think it's just the ongoing nature of everything changing all the time. Moving goalposts. The bad guys are getting better all the time. Every time you put something in front of them, they've got another method to get around it. And that. Convincing people that it's not a like a far out sort of threat that somebody else, it'll always happen to somebody else. It may actually happen to those people.
Yeah.
But often people don't really change their minds about it until they're actually faced with those sort of problems.
Too late.
So yeah, it's already too late.
I guess you're always learning something with the technology and so forth, always advancing all the time.
Yeah.
It's probably similar to our accountants, you know what I mean? They've always got to be up to date with what's happening in relation to tax reform and all these different other things on the accountancy side of things. Obviously, with you, there's always technology that's always changing, always ongoing. I guess you're always learning. Always learning.
Courses, webinars. New operating systems come out all the time. So the big one coming out at the moment is Windows 11. So that's going to start rolling out on people's computers pretty much any time now. Actually, yeah. If not by the time people actually listen to this, that they may already be using it.
Yeah.
When this podcast goes to air, it's up for Windows 12.
That would be. Just on both of those answers that you gave, as you said, the responsibilities as a business owner, we know here firsthand, especially over recent years, with COVID, you're sort of, it could be quite easily shut the door, but you've got employees that rely on you as a business owner to make a living and their livelihood. So it's not only affecting you as a business owner. If you shut the doors, well, hey, that's all might and good, but
we've got 16
staff and their families that it could have an impact on as well. And you guys would be the same. Being a family business, shut the doors, well, it's all four of you and now the new employee as well. Hey, it'd have an impact there.
It's a lot of weight in your shoulders.
Yeah, certainly. So
definitely an eye opener because, like I said before, I had no experience in this. This is I'm now 5 years on, and Jake's only quite recent.
Yeah.
Leading up to in those 5 years, it was just our own family.
Yes.
So it's all a big eye opener. I'm trying to provide him as nice a environment to work in and that sort of stuff as well. I don't want to be seen as that bad boss or the bad guy or whatever. So anyway,
I'll give you a tip. It'll make your hair go grey.
Yeah, that's already going that way.
on the technology side of things, it'd be similar to, we had a lady on here, Semi Hardwick from Double Tap Agency.
Yes.
So they're a social media type of things, and she's again learning every day because there's new Facebook details, there's new Instagram details, and it's Snapchat and it's TikTok and it's everything like that. And it'd be the same case for you, that you'd be learning Windows 11 now, and then a couple of years later, it's Windows 12. Okay, what changes have they made? We've got to educate our customers as well on how to use it.
Yeah. Yep. You got to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So I've got Windows 11 on my laptop, and I wouldn't say I'm excited about it, but it's not a difficult step, at least from 7 or 10. It's a similar sort of environment. Taskbar's moved a little bit, but that's about it. But there's other changes, like let's say a new update for iOS comes out, or Samsung's released an update for their phones and things like that. And there'll be like these little changes that you're not all over when somebody calls you up the day after it comes out. So quite often it's also sort of learning on the fly too.
Yeah. Get on Google, and I think one of your quotes I may have read somewhere was, go to Google, you taught him everything you know.
Yes. You read the emails.
I did read the emails, yes.
Yep.
So Brad sent through some emails that he'd sent out on his Gibson days that he'd send around to, and I believe you're known as Bradman, the superhero IT guy at Gibson's. And he'd send out some quite entertaining emails of, if it's not working, shut it down and start again, and or go to Google. I've taught him Google everything he knows and stuff like that. So it's good to see that an IT guy with a sense of humour. So
yeah, it all came out because sitting there being the IT guy and saying, everyone, look, we're making some changes. We're restarting the service tonight. You need to know this for the morning, and nobody's reading them. So I'd get these phone calls at 7 o'clock. When the warehouse got, exactly right. Yeah, you can't log in. I can't access my
Did
files.
you read the email?
Exactly.
What email?
Yeah, and then they wouldn't tell the bloke sitting next to them. So I'd get the phone call 5 minutes later. So I started putting some humour in it. It's the only way I could get people to read them. I became Bradman, the IT guy, and I had little email signatures where I'd cut the mouthpiece out of like a Batman photo and put that in the signature and things. It's all in good fun. I had the names for everyone. It was Gibsonians, Gibsons, Gibdaughters, shopfitters, shopfittettes, giblets, Gibsonauts, Gibsonites.
Well, that's the name of the band over there, the Gibsonites.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll take credit for it, but it was around. The emails have been going around.
You should have registered it, mate. Then you could have sold it back to them, eh?
royalties.
You could have got Gibbs. Yeah, that's right. Royalties on their hits.
Yeah, no, it was all in good fun. So if I was the inspiration, happy days. I'll
take credit for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just back on the family side of things, is it difficult to switch off between work and social? Like if you're at a barbecue together at the in-laws, are you talking shop, or is it no? We're out of work now. It's leave it there.
If the phone rings, I answer it. Always.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. Who knows what might have happened on the other end?
Yeah.
I'll look after some 24-hour businesses, even in the medical industry. So if it rings, I answer it. Sometimes I can't tackle it there and then. I'll say, oh, look, it's not too serious. I'll give you a call maybe on Monday if it can wait. It all depends.
You get customers ring you at like, say, 10:30 at night, and you answer, and they'll say, oh, shit, I didn't think you were going to answer. I was going to leave a voice message.
Yeah.
Like, what are you ringing for?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I think maybe the latest people really call is probably about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But that might be 9 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And it'll be, I need to get something done before the sales meeting or something like that on the Monday morning. And
the ones I like, the ones I really enjoy, is the ones that ring at sort of 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, and I don't answer it because by that time I'm non-eyes and the phone's on silent.
Mm.
But I love the next morning when I've missed a call, when I'm in the car at like 5:30, 5:45 type thing, and I ring them back.
Yeah.
That's the one I like.
Yeah.
I got a missed call from you, and like I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you rang me 2 o'clock this morning. Oh, yeah, no, and they're the ones I enjoy.
Catch you off guard.
Yeah, they're the ones I really enjoy.
Oh, you guys would be dealing with people sort of all over Australia, though.
100%.
You've got all the different time zones and things.
Correct.
Yeah. So I guess for you guys, it's it'd probably happen a little bit more than what it does for me.
Yeah, well, 2 o'clock in the morning for us is like 10 o'clock at night in Perth Airport.
Yeah.
Or 1 o'clock in the morning is late trading for Perth Shopping Centre.
Yeah.
Thursday night shopping.
Shopping, you know what I mean? So you do get them.
Mm. Oh, definitely, yeah.
How do you advertise and get new clients? Is it through word of mouth or?
Everything so far, gaining new customers has been word of mouth. One of the things that have come out of Gibson's restructure is that people have left the business, stayed in the same industry, and
they've got you on board.
I know an IT guy, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How good's that?
Yeah. I'm kind of happy about it. Yeah. Best thing is that a lot of them use the same type of same program, same software, even the same machines in some cases. For joinery businesses. So
Yeah.
it sort of
Excellent.
helps a little bit. We've sign written our ute. That's great. It gets a little bit of brand familiarity out there. I haven't really, I don't think at least, had any work come out of that, but started a few conversations.
You don't get work, but all our trucks are all sign written, mate. We're keeping the same, and so many times people say to me, "Oh, I seen one of your trucks the other day." Oh, yeah, what number was it? You know what I mean? They just see them on the road and so forth.
Yeah.
Friends, family, different people. Oh, I seen one of your trucks.
Yeah. So now I just got to behave when I'm on the road, especially because there's only the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sure it was me? Yeah, it was you. We only got the one.
Exactly. But you pull into a customer site, and it's that little bit of presence.
Yeah, exactly.
It gives you being a little business like this. It's I think it's a good step in the right direction.
Well, even you're sitting here opposite us with your shirt and you got Man IT on it and that type of thing. It does create a professional looking business as such, where you rock up, the company car's all sign written, you're in uniform, that type of thing. It comes across very professional.
Yeah. I think so.
It's a big thing, mate. Branding.
Oh, definitely.
Big thing.
And we just spent a little bit of money doing our website.
Yeah.
I'm not a developer. I tell everyone I'm an engineer, not an artist. I can make something work. I can't make it look pretty. But so that's pretty much it so far. Maybe after the pandemic, we might look at maybe some radio or magazines, business magazines, things like that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Away from it all, how do you relax?
I am a self-confessed workaholic. So I'm always in front of the computer. I used to develop cool little toys and things that I thought were maybe might be able to get me somewhere or something like that. As an example, we're building a little VoIP speaker. So Jerry's an electronics engineer. That's his profession. He's also a software developer. I can program in a couple of languages, some better than others. But yeah, he's developed a PCB, so a full board, with a little ARM processor and a few other bits and pieces, and that powers a loudspeaker that you could sort of fit to the ceiling anywhere in like an office environment, or attach a horn speaker to it, and that hooks up to your VoIP phone system. So you dial an extension and you speak to the people on the floor. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It is
good.
Yeah,
it is good. So no, that's
watch that one. That we should be
Beats the old
be
PA
finished now, but
system
I
we got
haven't
here
had
in the
time.
factory, doesn't it?
yeah. Or sticking your head out the window.
Paging, hello. Yeah. Such and such down there.
Yeah. So I do that. Binge watch TV shows or movies. Netflix is great these days. You just
What's your go-to Netflix?
I've finished up F is for Family. That was pretty cool.
Which one's that?
F is for Family.
Okay.
Bill Burr, if you know that.
Haven't
comedian.
seen that one.
No, don't do it in front of the kids.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of swearing in that.
What
adult humour in
about
that,
what
but
about Stan?
Stan. We've got it. We've got an account on it. But I couldn't tell you what's on it.
Any other recommendations on?
on Netflix?
Yeah.
Got
No?
any? Oh,
What's yours, Drewy? What's your
Yeah.
go-to?
I'm sort of docos mainly on Netflix. So I watch the docos. We actually spoke about one the other day, that McMillions, where those people over in the States rorted McDonald's.
Oh, yeah,
for,
you seen that one?
The $1 Million Monopoly type of thing, which is a good show. McMillions. That's
You seen that one?
no.
Yeah, that's a good, based on a true story.
Yeah, okay.
They these people, like insiders rorted
FBI,
McDonald's.
they got the FBI come in and tracked it down and so forth, and how they were wrought in the system, and the family, three family members all won $1 million through the McDonald's monopoly. Like, it was just the odds of that happening was just ridiculous. So they smelled a rat and tracked it down. And
I know what yours is on Stan at the moment, Yellowstone, because you come in every morning. Did you watch Yellowstone? And I don't have Stan, so I don't watch
Brad?
it.
No. It's
mate, you don't know
Western
what
isn't it? Or-
you don't know what you're missing out on. Kevin Costner,
Oh, yeah.
great show, mate. Great show. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just so Monday night episode. The next series just started, series 4.
Okay.
Really good, mate. Yeah, love it.
Yeah. Started watching Westworld.
Yeah.
Yeah, futuristic thing about a Western sort of. I'm only second episode into it, so don't sort of give me any.
Did you?
don't give it away.
Did you watch Squid Game?
No.
You and me both.
I didn't either.
No, us.
No.
We must be the only three blokes that haven't watched it because, yeah,
it's all over the internet.
yeah, mate, yeah. I just haven't had the time and
all the interest probably.
probably.
Yes. To finish our podcast, we ask our fast 5 questions, and it's just rapid fire to get to know you a little bit better.
Yep.
What would be your last meal?
Pasta cake.
Pasta cake. I haven't had that one.
I guess kind of an internal joke in my family. It's lasagna.
Yeah.
Lasagna, and I call it pasta cake. My wife makes a beautiful, beautiful lasagna, and tiramisu.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So you got it's a 2-courser.
2-courser.
Yeah.
So Clayton's wife Leanne makes a good lasagna too.
does too.
We might have
Yes.
to call it pasta cake now.
There you go.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good quality.
What is your drink of choice?
VB.
VB?
Yep.
Can or bottle?
Stubby if I can.
Yeah.
Or schooner preferably, but yeah.
Hey, how good was it after lockdown and you went into the pub and got the first beer on tap?
Yeah, I look after a pub out in St Mary's, and first.
So Freedom Day, they got a site visit?
They did. I was doing some other work at the time.
How convenient.
I was straight there after the job, and I
First tap beer, mate.
exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
How good was that?
Yeah.
If you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be and why?
My dog Thor.
Thor.
Yeah, it'd be my dog. He lives I think anyway. He lives a great life. There's no work. It's all time to relax. All the attention from the family.
Yeah.
He gets treated really well, really, really well. Head rubs all the time. You know. Yeah. He eats great too. Definitely Thor.
Most family dogs do get they've
Yeah.
got a pretty flash life.
Yeah.
It's not real tough on them. So, who is your favourite superhero and why?
Brad Man.
Brad Man.
Brad Man, the IT man.
Yes.
Brad Man. Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Coming to a comic series near you.
Yeah.
Coming to an office near you.
Yeah, Marvel or something like that might sign you up. So there's
you never
probably
know,
something in that, that the IT guy comes in and saves the day.
I've got a mate that Bradman had a bit of a mailing list, so they ended up getting to read it, and it was all a bit of fun as well. He suggested I should start up a blog at some stage, collect all these emails and start putting him as a. It may come to it. We'll see.
Bradman may get his
I've
own
kept everything.
podcast at some
Yeah.
stage.
The IT podcast.
The IT podcast. Yeah, Bradman.
There's a guy online and he's got a couple of books on that type of thing, and he was like a graphic designer, and he'd get emails of can you draw this spider for me, and then can you do this, and like he was just the biggest smart ass.
Yeah, can you put the cat more in the background? Can you bring it forward? There was a lost cat one.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And he's written books, and he started out with a blog, so maybe there's some things there like that. And like, can you remove this out of the background? And then he makes the person in the front like really tiny, and that stuff like that. Like, it's a really good read. But
He might have Bradman's sense of humour.
I think he might have. So, yes, mate. And finally, if heaven does exist, what would God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
What took you so long? Thought you would have been here years ago.
Yeah.
I was pretty wild as a teenager. So, yeah.
So who's got your name on the list, do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Brad, thanks for coming in, mate, today. Been
Thanks
good
for
to
having
have a chat to you about all different things, Air Force and obviously in particular IT, your main game. And if there's any businesses out there that want to contact Brad, how can they get onto Man IT?
All the details are on the website, manit.com.au.
And you're on Facebook and Instagram or any of those platforms?
On Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
I should put more content there, but yes, I'm definitely on Facebook.
Something to work on, mate. But if any companies, any small businesses, any shop fitters, anyone that's in business that needs help with IT or is struggling with any of that behind the scenes stuff, get on to Brad and have a chat, and hopefully it can grow bigger than 400
Computers
and that, mate, that you're looking after.
We'll also put the link in the show notes. So if you're after it, it's manit.com.au. But yeah, the link should be in the show notes as well. But mate, you should be extremely proud of what you've achieved in a short time in business. And hopefully it keeps growing. So great success to you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much. If you've gone longer than 5 years, mate, you're over the hump.
Yes.
You're kicking goals.
Excellent.
Well done, mate. Thanks for your
again.
time. Good to talk.
Cool. Thanks,
Cheers.
guys.
That wraps up the 36th episode and our chat with Brad Griffiths from Man IT. If you require IT solutions, visit www.manit.com.au. That's manit.com.au. And have a chat to Brad and tell him you heard him here on the KRGS Doors podcast. If you have missed any previous episodes of the KRGS Doors podcast, you can download them from our website, www.krgsdoors.com.au/podcast, or on your favourite podcast player, search KRGS Doors. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any future episodes. This also boosts our ranking and my ego. The other thing I suggest, if you've enjoyed the podcast, visit your favourite podcast player and leave a review or a rating. On our next episode, we speak to Matt Diedrich, a self-made entrepreneur. Matt quit his cushy day job in sports marketing to become a full-time reseller. Yes, he goes around to op shops and garage sales and flips them for profit. Last year alone, he made over $100,000 and was even on the Today Show. So keep your eyes peeled for that upcoming episode. I've been your host, Drew Blackman, and you've been fantastic for tuning in today. As always, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Thanks. Till next time. The KRGS Doors Show, proudly brought to you by KRGS Doors. For all your shopfront roller shutters, roller grills, folding closures and bifold doors, visit www.krgsdoors.com.au.